hello, welcome to this video that is going to be a volume 1 try vlog, LGBT plus edition. I really want to get this out during Pride Month. Maybe it is still June, maybe it's not. But y'all know the drill by now. I'm gonna read volume 1 of a series, let y'all know my immediate thoughts right in the moment. If I liked it, if I didn't like it, if I plan to continue the series. I think I'll also have some one-shots in here, so what I thought of the one-shot overall. But yeah, I have a handful of physical volume 1s, and then my library has pretty much all of Tokyopop's catalog, so I asked on my Instagram for some recommendations on there. So we'll see where this video takes us. Hopefully read some good stuff, get some new recommendations out of this, and, you know, celebrate LGBT plus manga. Okay, hello, I have read 2 volumes. Well, technically this is more than 1 volume, but we'll start with Our Colors, the complete collection. This is technically 3 volumes in 1. This is by Kengo Otagame, who is a very famous LGBT plus mangaka. He is a gay man, so this is technically an Own Voices work as well. He is the author of My Brother's Husband, which I've also read, which was quite good in my opinion. But Our Colors is the story of a boy in high school. He knows he's gay and he has a crush on his friend, and he's kind of having this dilemma of if he wants to confess, if he wants to come out to anyone in his life, keeping his sexuality a secret, etc. And one day he stumbles upon this kind of seemingly abandoned cafe where he meets the owner, who also happens to be a gay man who is older. So throughout the story, the main character kind of seeks this man as his mentor. He ends up coming out to one of his childhood friends. And it's a pretty simple story about, you know, identity, coming of age, the struggles of being in the closet, deciding for himself how open he wants to be with everything. And I thought it was nice, I thought it was realistic, impactful. There's just one tiny thing at the very end that was like a jump scare, honestly. When kind of the older guy and the main character first meet, the older guy is drawn to this kid because he looks like kind of a guy he used to like in the past, who he regretted never confessing to. And at the very end, they do kiss as sort of a closure to their relationship, I guess. And I felt pretty weird about that. But other than that, this 3-volume series was pretty good, a nice story kind of detailing some realistic events. I can see why the author included that last bit at the end, but it grossed me out a little bit. And then next I read Senpai This Can't Be Love. I thought this was a one-shot, but after doing some additional research, it seems like this was a one-shot, but then the author continued, and there's 2 other volumes out right now. This one was sent to me by Yempress for free, so keep that in mind. But this one is about a guy who works at this like CG animation company. I'm not super familiar with that world, but they work in like graphics, 3D modeling, something like that. He's new at the job, and he has this supervisor who is really enthusiastic, trying to get to know him, but our main character is really kind of cold towards him. But we soon come to find out that this mentor guy is like his idol. He loves all his work, he got into this field because of this guy, and he's just kind of shy and doesn't really know how to interact with him. So throughout this volume, they kind of grow closer, kind of explores this whole fan-idol dynamic. Not like idol, but just someone you respect, I guess, a lot. But overall, I thought this one was cute. It was okay, nothing amazing. A little bit boring, honestly, but the art is stunning. I like the characters, but there was quite a bit about kind of the technical sides of their job that I wasn't super interested in. And I think this didn't work super well as like a one-shot, so I'm glad it does continue. I would be interested to read more about the characters. But I think it'll be a little bit strange because this ends as like a conclusive ending, so I don't know how it would transition into now a longer series, if that makes sense. So I thought this one was cute, nothing amazing. There is one like spicy scene at the very end, that's why this is rated explicit, but I wasn't offended by it. Okay, hello, like I mentioned, I did get some recommendations for some stuff that was available through my library, mainly Tokyopop titles, so I decided to start with volume 1 of Acid Town. And I was really intrigued by this first volume, honestly. It very much gives the vibes of Banana Fish, I would say. The story is about these 2 guys who are kind of living in this grimy city, doing anything they can to get by, because the main character's little brother is in the hospital, so he needs to get money to pay for the bills. And they end up in a situation where this kind of Yakuza mafia boss guy catches them trying to steal something, and to repay this, the main character now is kind of going to be used as his tool. He has to go visit him once a week, do whatever he says. And so far, it's just been like playing board games with him or whatever. But you can tell that there are going to be much more sinister things at play. there's some really dark stuff already alluded to the main character's past. There's kind of like a rival gang that's up and coming, so there's going to be some political conflicts, probably violence. And I really like stories like this. Something about this kind of atmosphere, this underground vibe really gets to me. The setting also reminds me a little bit of Durarara, which is my favorite anime. So yeah, definitely intrigued by this one. I'm gonna continue. I think my library has up to volume like 6 or 7 already. And also I kind of wanted to read a bunch of Tokyo Pop titles because they have a big Pride sale going on, so I wanted to see if I wanted to scoop up anything physical for my collection, and this one is a potential, honestly. I kind of just want to read more volumes of this now, so we'll see. I'll either do that or read something else from the catalog that was recommended to me. Okay, I've decided to continue on with another Tokyo Pop volume. I read volume 1 of My Beautiful Man, and I forgot to mention with Acid Town, the kind of LGBT plus elements that are there are not super fleshed out. It's kind of obvious that the main character's friend kind of has some type of feelings towards him, but I don't think romance is going to be the main focus of that. Similar to Banana Fish or something like Number 6, like maybe there will be a little bit of romance, but I think the whole action, political, saving his brother plotline is going to be more important. But moving on to My Beautiful Man Volume 1, this one was really sad. And I don't know if it's sad in a good way. Basically, we have this main character, he's in high school, he has a pretty bad stutter and anxiety, he's never had any friends before, he experiences some bullying growing up, and it's the start of the new school year, and this new guy is in his class. And immediately the main character is drawn to this guy, he thinks he is like the most beautiful man he's ever seen, that's why it's called My Beautiful Man. But this guy is not nice. Even though he's the new student, he immediately gets taken in by kind of the popular crowd, and this group of boys end up bullying the main character, kind of using him as their gopher, making him go buy stuff for them, save them spots in line, kind of do their bidding. So they're not like beating him up or anything like that, but it's very much like social bullying. But the beautiful man, he participates, but he kind of just doesn't care. He gives off the vibe as like he's too good for everything. So he doesn't like directly bully the main character. He's more of a bystander, but the main character quickly kind of becomes obsessed with this guy in an unhealthy capacity. Like he knows that this guy is a part of his bullies, but he can't help but liking him, obviously still thinking he's very beautiful. He even tells it to this guy's face and he's like, gross dude, like what the heck. He even like masturbates to a photo of this guy, so it's getting to a little bit of a creepy level of obsession that he has with this guy. And at the end of this volume, our main character kind of discovers a secret that this guy has. So depending on how their relationship develops from this, I think I might continue with one more volume to see how it goes. But just the kind of initial setup of their relationship being a little bit of bully slash victim, I'm really not a fan of that. So yeah, like maybe it'll be all a misunderstanding, or there's some, internalized homophobia going on, or some other type of things. I'm not sure. But this first volume was just really sad. Like, the main character, I feel for him, obviously. It seems like he has, like, considered suicide before because of how, ostracized he is. So yeah, just sad. And I kind of hope it doesn't go into a romantic relationship with this guy. I just want our main character to have a friend and to not be treated like crap by his peers. Like, is that so much to ask? But he's getting a little creepy in his kind of affection towards this guy. So yeah, no character is perfect, I guess, in this series so far. I think my library does have volume 2 at least, so we'll see. Sorry if my feelings make like no sense on this volume. It's kind of confusing. It's weird, it's sad, there's like a sliver of hope that things are gonna get better for the main character, but I'm really not sure. Okay, hello, I have read a couple more volumes. This one is technically a one-shot, but I read Send Them a Farewell Gift for the last time. So this one I was originally interested in because of the author. So this is by Kokomi, who is the author of Restart After Coming Back Home, and that is one of my favorite duologies. It's so good, so I was definitely interested in checking out one of the author's other works. And overall, I think this one had some good ideas. It's about this couple. They've been together for 4 years, and this guy on the bottom here kind of initiates a breakup because he's kind of just fed up with a lot of little things in their relationship and feels like it's time to break it off. But of course, it's not that simple. They keep coming back to each other. The other guy in the relationship doesn't really know what happened, so there's some miscommunication, of course. And throughout the volume, they're, trying to work it out, see if they can reconcile. they can't let go of the physical attraction. That's probably my main issue with this, is it's very explicit, and I tend to not read super explicit things, so that's just more of my personal taste. But overall, I thought this was realistic. I think I would have connected with it better if it was a little bit longer and more fleshed out. But the art was beautiful, I liked the characters, and it was nice to read something else from an author whose other work I loved. So I'll definitely keep my eye out for more, but I guess I'll be more mindful of the rating. But yeah, not bad, not bad. I don't regret reading this. And then I ended up reading volume 1 of Still Sick. This one is on Kindle Unlimited, and it also got recommended to me. This one is about two office ladies that are co-workers. At first, it gave the vibes of like Wotakoi or another Tokyo Pop series. I think it's called My Coworker Has a Secret. One of the ladies writes Yuri Doujinshi for her favorite series, and her coworker happens to see her at like Comiket. And they develop a friendship through this, while trying to keep it like on the down low at work about their otaku hobbies and stuff like that. But the volume takes a little bit of a darker tone halfway through. You find out that the girl that was at Comiket was actually a mangaka, and she gave that up due to various circumstances, and now it seems like it's going to go in the direction of kind of rekindling your passion for something. Are you doing something for the right reasons or just to please someone else, etc.? And then our character who was writing the doujinshi is kind of coming to terms with her feelings for women. So yeah, I think there'll be a little bit more meat here than I was expecting with the next couple volumes. So I'll definitely continue, especially since it's on Kindle Unlimited. I was intrigued by this first volume. It wasn't like the best thing I've ever read, but the added element of the kind of struggles of being a mangaka, I don't know, it made it more interesting to me than just like a trying to hide my nerdy hobbies at work type vibe. Don't get me wrong, I love Wotakoi, it's one of my favorite series, but I like that this one's a little something different, if you get what I mean. Okay, hello, I have read a couple more digital reads, starting with volume 1 of Confessions of Asai Baker. This one was a pretty cute volume 1, but I couldn't separate this from What Did You Eat Yesterday in my mind. It's almost the exact same story. The main character is a real estate agent. He's kind of an older gay man, and he lives with his boyfriend, who is a caretaker at a senior center. The real estate agent's hobby is baking, and he makes a lot of treats for his boyfriend. Currently, he's kind of on a diet, so that could be a little bit triggering. There's a lot of talk about, like, this is a low-calorie cake recipe or whatever. Lots of fixation on calories. But, you know, they kind of just talk about their lives through these meals they're sharing. One of his coworkers at the real estate agency brings up the recent trend of businesses becoming LGBT plus friendly, like they could offer that as a service to help people find places to buy or rent. And our main character is kind of conflicted about that because he's not out at work. He doesn't know if, advertising this will expose himself, quote unquote. But his partner is very open. Everyone knows he's gay at work and stuff like that. They go to his friend's gay bar that he owns. But yeah, I always find it interesting to read stories about older LGBT plus people, especially in the setting of Japan. So I did think this first volume was nice, but it is just so similar to What Did You Eat Yesterday? And it's not as good in my opinion. So I think I will continue when I'm in the mood for something with that vibe, especially since What Did You Eat Yesterday volumes come out so slow. I feel bad saying that this is just like a good substitute for that in the time of need, but that's kind of how I felt about it. So it was cute. I love seeing older characters in manga. It is very centered around baking and food, but the kind of discussions of everyday life are very endearing to me, like they are in What Did You Eat Yesterday? Like they even have the same character archetypes and everything. It's just so hard to not see them as just like other versions of characters I already love. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on that, I guess. But then I also read Snow Fairy. This is a one-shot, and I love this one so much. It was so cute. It's about this photographer who is traveling up to Hokkaido during the winter to take some nature photography of the wildlife there. He gets kind of stranded and meets this local farmer who offers to let him stay at his house during the winter until he gets his photos that he was trying to get. And this one volume is just so cute, the way their relationship develops. The farmer guy has lost his parents, he lives alone in this big house, and he kind of comes to realize how lonely he's really been when he meets this new guy. And they help each other, see things through other people's perspectives, and it's just so cute, wholesome, adorable. The art is great. I really liked it. I think I'm gonna buy this one for myself. This is the only one so far that I would buy like a physical copy of, I guess. It was just that cute, and I would read more of these characters in this world. It reminds me of A Restart After Coming Back Home, the one I was talking about earlier that had the same author as the one about the exes. So yeah, I recommend Snow Fairy if you want a really cute pick-me-up one-shot. Really nice. I think I can check out one more thing this month digitally, so I'll do that, and then I'll get to some of my physical reads as well. Okay, hello, I read my last digital volume 1 of this video. If my favorite pop idol made it to the Budokan, I would die. This is another one that was recommended, and I thought this first volume was actually really fun. It's about a girl who stands this underground idol group, and her fave, her oshi, her bias, is kind of like the least popular member of the group. So she takes it upon herself to be like a super fan. She buys all her meet and greet tickets, all her albums, is at the front row of every concert, etc. But whenever she meets her idol kind of face to face, she gets kind of a cold response. But she tells herself, oh, she's just shy, this is how she interacts with the fans. But on the idol side of things, it seems like she kind of has a crush on this fan. I'm really hoping this goes in kind of like the girls' love direction. It seems like 2 of the other girls in the group are also together potentially, so I don't know, I really like things about idols and fan culture and stuff like that, so this is right up my alley. The main character also has some other friends who are fans of other members of the group and stuff like that, so yeah, I think I'll definitely continue with this one. If you like a story about idols, potential romance, I guess, I would recommend this one. And then I read the first volume of She Likes Gays, But Not Me. I definitely have mixed feelings about this one, so the premise is that there's this guy in high school, he's gay, he sees his classmate buying a BL book, so she is kind of exposed as a fujoshi to him. And since he knows her big secret now, they kind of become friends through this. He helps her go buy limited edition goods and stuff like that, all while she doesn't know he's gay. And he's kind of fascinated by her obsession with like gay guys and stuff like that. But her interpretation is pretty much all based on fiction. So he doesn't really understand where she's coming from, as well as, grappling with his own identity. So from the start, you learn that he is in a sexual relationship with this older man who is married and has kids. So obviously that's like a mess up situation. But our main character is kind of, trying to understand this. Like, he really wants a kid, he wants family, he wants kind of all these heteronormative things. So he decides to date the girl, like the fujoshi girl, even though he knows he'll never be like sexually attracted to her. Because he thinks this will make him happy to, have the whole family life and stuff like that. And also not to disappoint his parents. He sees himself as kind of disgusting. So he's definitely working through, a lot of internalized homophobia, stuff like that. And then he also has his online friend who is HIV positive. So there's a lot of talks about that, which is interesting. I haven't seen much of that in any manga, other than something set in like a historical time period, like New York, New York. So yeah, I think this could be really insightful, depending on how it goes. His relationship with this older man is not necessarily romanticized, which is good, but it is, definitely icky to read about. It's explicit too. There is a explicit warning on here. But, not everything is like sunshine and rainbows. Kind of like Acid Town, I'll talk about that more later, but I don't know, being gay myself, sometimes it's hard to read these stories with more quote-unquote relatable themes, and I tend to gravitate towards like something fluffy and cute like Snow Fairy. But I think it is important to have works like this out there that can show some of the, real struggles. But I don't know if this is executed perfectly or in a way that I would necessarily recommend. So yeah, that's why my thoughts are kind of mixed feelings about this. Hopefully it makes a little bit of sense. I think this could be doing some good things, but it covers some uncomfortable topics, so not the most enjoyable read. Let me know what you think if you've read this one. I haven't seen many people talk about it other than like kind of the shocking nature of the title, but this one was sent to me by Yen Press also, so I didn't buy it myself. It wasn't really on my radar. But it was definitely an interesting volume 1, I would say. Okay, hello. I have read the last couple volumes for this video, starting with volume 1 of This Monster Wants to Eat Me. So this one I had heard from a couple people that it gave the same vibes as The Summer Hikaru Died, but girls love. And this one definitely has sapphic undertones, but I'm not sure if it'll go in the romance direction. This one is about this girl in high school. It seems like her whole family has passed away and she's in a really dark place, depressed, dealing with a lot of grief, and it's implied that she's kind of gonna go commit suicide in the ocean when this girl appears before her, and it turns out that this girl is actually a mermaid that wants to eat her, but not quite yet. This mermaid says she kind of has to wait until the time is right. So it seems like this right time is when, this main character girl is happy, in a better mind state, stuff like that. So I think the mermaid is gonna, try to get her to do fun things, cheer her up a bit before she eats her. It does definitely have a little bit of a creepy vibe, especially when the mermaid is in her mermaid form. She has like these claws. She also is protecting the main character from other monsters because apparently she is this super delectable human that everyone can sense, so she's staking her claim, I guess, and making her the most delicious that she can be. Overall, I thought this first volume was okay. Even though there is kind of the darker aspects, it's a little more cutesy than I was expecting. Like, other than the whole mermaid wanting to eat her thing, there's like a best friend character that's super bubbly, so there's a little bit of a disconnect with the themes, I guess, in my opinion. But not bad. I don't think I'll continue this one, honestly, unless I can get it through my library or something. This one was sent to me by Empress as well. But I think if you're into this type of genre, you'll like it. It just didn't hook me from the start. And then the last volume one I read is Flower of Life by Fumi Yoshinaga. Since I was talking about What Did You Eat Yesterday, I remembered I had volume one of this series. Fumi Yoshinaga is the author of What Did You Eat Yesterday, and she has a lot of other kind of short series that I've been interested in trying, like Antique Bakery, I think, is a famous one. But I had volume one of this series. I'm not sure if it's going in a romance direction, though. This first volume was kind of more just a slice of life school story. Our main character has been away from school for a while. He had leukemia and he's recovered, but he's a bit older than everyone. He's back getting accustomed to, school life and being out of the hospital. And it's just about him kind of interacting with his classmates. He joins the manga club because he became a really good artist in his hospital stay. There's some other interesting characters, like this teacher here on the cover, who is having an affair with another teacher. But our main character definitely has a strong moral compass, and that can get him into trouble as well. The kid who he befriends is this guy on the back cover. He's getting teased, a little bit bullied for his weight, and the main character just steps in like this hero character. But his friend really just doesn't want any attention on him, so it kind of backfired in that way. And then there's a lot of, conversations in that vein, coming of age, kind of figuring this out at this adolescent stage. And it's overall just kind of like light, cute. The tags said drama comedy, so yeah, maybe it will just stay at that. I guess it was my bad for assuming there would be some LGBT plus themes in this because of some of the author's other works, but yeah, this was nice. It was nice to read another one of the author's works. The art is very distinct, very nice, even though this one's a little bit older. This publishing is just gives the vibe of old, but I don't think anything aged poorly particularly in this yet. There was, the bullying, the fat phobia, but you never know what you're gonna get into when you read some older stuff. Published in 2004, which, yeah, 20 years ago, oh my gosh. It doesn't feel like 2004 was 20 years ago, but it was. So yeah, that is it for this video. Let me pull everything together, and I guess I'll kind of just rank and give some additional thoughts. I think my favorite thing I read out of this whole video was definitely Snow Fairy. The one shot was so cute. Highly recommend if you want just a sweet, small town type romance. The photography, themes, and elements were also really nice. And then second, as you can see, I did read further on in Acid Town. So I did read up to volume 5 of Acid Town so far. And I can't call it an enjoyable series, but it's really good in my opinion. After volume 1, things really ramp up with the action and the drama, and I can now confidently compare it to Banana Fish. Really triggering topics potentially, but I really do like these stories about kind of the underworld, politics, gang activities, stuff like that. A lot of problematic elements, but it's not romanticized, and it just feels really raw to me, and sometimes I like that type of vibe. I didn't realize how old of a series this was though. I think I saw that it started in like 2009, and that it is regularly on hiatus, so maybe not the best series to really get into, but I'm hooked. It's an addicting series, even though the themes and the topics are hard to read at times. Then I would probably rank the Idol Budokan one. Like I said, I love my idol stories. The girls' love element I think will be really nice if it, develops really fun, and I think my library has a bunch of volumes of it, so a win for me. And then I would probably rank Flower of Life. I just thought this was a really cute school life type one. I'm not sure how it'll develop going forward, but I love slice of life stories, so I wouldn't mind if it was just kind of these friends in high school and kind of growing up, being teenagers, that kind of thing. Still Sick, this one was cute. I plan to continue this one. Definitely gave kind of the Wochiko vibes with a little bit of a twist, and I'm interested to see how this progresses with the whole trying to get back to the character's manga career after it got cut short and the, potential romance blossoming. And then next, I guess we'll move on to the kind of middle section. Senpai, This Can't Be Love. This was a cute one-shot. I like the characters, I like their dynamic, but I wasn't blown away by this one. Then I would probably rank Our Colors. So I think this could have been really good if it wasn't for that last little thing. It was a relatable story coming from a LGBT plus mangaka themselves. It felt realistic. I liked a lot of the discussions in it. I just can't get rid of the little bit of a bad taste in my mouth that it left. Then I would rank Send Them a Farewell Gift for Lost Time. This one was also a decent story, a little bit too much spice for me, but if you like kind of the exes to lovers, kind of figuring out stuff during a period of a break, sorting out miscommunications, I think you would like that one. And then I would put Confessions of Asai Baker. So when I went to log this one on Goodreads, I noticed that this one has very divisive opinions about it. I was not aware, but I can see where people are coming from. First of all, with the whole like calorie counting thing, and people think that the real estate agent is kind of infantilizing his boyfriend in general with how he treats him, and also the coworker who brings up the whole LGBT plus friendly real estate agency. She is kind of your stereotypical straight person that's trying to be an ally but takes it a little bit too far and is not really doing it right, but they send her to this like LGBT plus education seminar thing, and she comes out of it kind of understanding a little bit better that fetishization is bad, stuff like that. And then their friend that owns the bar is kind of a caricature, and there's some poor taste kind of jokes about sexual assault. So yeah, overall I would just say just read What Did You Eat Yesterday if you want a similar story. I think the good aspects of it kind of equal out the kind of things though, so that's why I ended up thinking it was kind of just okay. And then I would rank This Monster Wants to Eat Me. This one was kind of just okay. I'm not a huge fan of kind of paranormal monster stories, so even though it seems like they could have a cute / interesting dynamic, I wasn't really hooked by this first volume. And then My Beautiful Man. This one I think I will read another volume just out of morbid curiosity, but I really don't like the kind of bully victim dynamic in a romance, so not sure how I'm gonna feel about it going forward. And then lastly, we have She Likes Gays But Not Me. And honestly, I don't really know how to rank this one. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about it. I kind of feel like it is an important manga to have out there, but for me, it's not something that I need in my life right now, you know? And I'm hesitant to recommend it when I'm not sure how they're gonna take certain things moving forward. So yeah, that is the end of this video. We got a couple winners out of this batch. Thank you for everyone who recommended me stuff. I'll update in future reading logs and such if I continue with any of these series. Happy Pride Month, even though this will probably be up in July. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.